I now hand the conference over to Mr. Carl Kola from CDR India. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Raman. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Balrampur Chini Q1FY21 results conference call. Today we have with us Mr. Vivek Karavi, Managing Director of Balrampur Chini Mill, and Mr. Pramod Patwari, CFO of the company. We would now like to begin the call with brief opening remarks from the management, following which we will have the forum open for discussion. Before we begin, I would like to point out that some statements made in today's call may be forward-looking in nature, and a disclaimer to this effect has been shared in the results presentation. I would now like to invite Mr. Karavi to make his opening remarks. Over to you, Vivek.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Balrampur Chini Mill's Q1FY21 earnings call. I hope you, your colleagues, and family members are all well and keeping safe. I will initiate the call by taking you through the latest updates in the sector, after which Pramod will give you the highlights of the financial performance. So we begin with next year's estimates. The estimate made by ISMA, and we also concur with that estimate, is net sugar production of 30.5 million, which is 305 lakh tons. The assumption is 320 lakh tons production and 15 lakhs being diverted for BAV. Net sugar production therefore being 30.5. So the various states have been accounted for. Maharashtra's jump, etc. has all been accounted for in this estimate. And now I'd like to take you through the demand perspective on sugar. So initially during the lockdown, figures of demand were being estimated at 24 million tons or 240 lakh tons. We were pleasantly surprised by the offtake in these months, and now based on the offtake already happened and the couple of months releases only being pending, it is very safe to assume that demand would be maybe 1% higher than last year, could be closer to 255 against 252 lakhs of consumption last year. So basically, demand, if at all, will be equal to last year, or in my personal view and in ISMA's view, 1% higher. We are estimating export of about 5.5? 5.8. 58 lakh tons of export. So with an opening balance of 14.5 million, production of 27.2 million, domestic offtake of about 255 or 25.5, and export of about 6 million, the closing stock would be about 10.5, which is 105 lakh tons. So given the fact that we are estimating a 305 production and maybe a demand of 26 next year, we are also expecting the exports to continue in this same trajectory of about 6 million approximately. And there is enough home for India sugar. And we have also seen a decent global market. So we are estimating that if 6 million goes out next year, like it went out this year, you will see, and the difference between production and consumption being higher by 4.5, you could see a further drawdown to inventory of about 1.5 or 15 lakhs next year. These are just assumptions which are in the very early stages. Now, let me give you an update on ethanol. With additional investments, the country's production for ethanol has increased to about 4,000 million liters. From that is 400 crores. This will help government to procure higher ethanol in 2021. As laid down in the National Biofuel Policy, the government is firmly on its path to achieving ethanol blending of 10% by 2022 and 20% by 2030. The constructive measures being taken by OMCs has helped companies like ours to supply the higher ethanol quantity. This is something we are very proud of as a Balrampur initiative. Our new distillery, which came into operation in January, is able to optimize its capacity utilization. Rather, we worked at more than 100% capacity. The OMCs also undertook swift action during the lockdown to move supplies to alternate depots. So we could move our supplies from one depot to the other and managed to clock in a very decent ethanol dispatch. Now let me briefly take you through the key highlights of Balrampur's performance. Overall, Balrampur delivered a healthy quarter. The sugar segment reported higher volumes. This combined with higher operational efficiencies on account of higher recovery led to a better performance. The performance of the distillery segment, which was initially impacted in April, but picked up in the later months, has helped the distillery segment itself also deliver better results. We also witnessed first full quarter contribution of our newly commissioned distillery at Guleria. As I told you, we've produced beyond 100%. Overall, we anticipate offtake to remain healthy, which should enable us to deliver similar performance going ahead. Co-generation remains to be muted, and we are in litigation for the rate. So our idea now is, if we get a better price of bagasse, which we derive from the market rather than by producing power, whatever power we need for our operations being the minimum, we sell the rest of the bagasse. In conclusion, I'd like to state that over the past few quarters, we've continued to deliver healthy results, even in periods of excess production. Over the years, the government's initiatives on ethanol, its price linked to MSP, timely exports, have removed the problems of excesses. These initiatives, together with our efficiencies, we hope will enable us to continually generate sustainable cash flows as we move ahead. And we hope to deliver shareholder value in the coming years. Thank you. Pramod, on to you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking your time out and joining us today on Balrampur Chini Mills Q1 Financial Year 21 earnings conference call. I would not like to repeat the numbers which we have already given in the press release and uploaded on the website of the stock exchanges. So we straight away open our forum for the question and answer session. That's it from our side.
So basically, you saying that all the data is uploaded?
Yeah.
So if anybody now needs any more clarifications of financial data or anything else, we welcome questions.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask questions may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Varun Goenka from Nippon Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. And first, my most compliments to Vivek ji and Pramod ji. I think as we present on our slides, we return back to shareholders, including the current buyback, probably now getting close to 1,000 crores over last 4 or 5 years, even though it's not that we have seen a major upcycle or something. So really congratulations on that. So very few companies can claim this kind of a quantum. But question is around, like you mentioned, Vivek ji, on our sustainable cash flows. And now that we have such large cash flows, what is really stopping us from going ahead with next round of capex or reinvestment? Even if the policy framework may not give us that kind of visibility, but it would still give us very good IRRs probably at current price. I think this question has been repeated time and again for the last few months, and because the future looks reasonably promising or okay.
Yeah, thank you for the compliment you gave us initially, and we continue our conduct, which is in a most predictable manner, that excess cash gets returned. Secondly, on reinvestment / investments of cash. See, our idea is right now we are deliberating and looking at various ideas, which might not be just buying sugar factories or, expanding sugar factories alone. So we are looking at a lot of value-added products. We are in the process of examining, and as soon as, the company finalizes and board finalizes, you'll get to hear. So we, in our approach, have been very cautious. Our idea is we would definitely not like to move ahead on the value-added side, and that's the approach right now.
Okay, so just to extend this further, the opportunities that we are evaluating, what in your mind could be the range cash required to capture them? Also, what is the size of the opportunity? Can it add anything meaningful in terms of 50, 100 crores of profit over the next 3 or 4 years?
Why not? I mean, one would explore at those levels only. It's too early. So yes, absolutely. The profit size you're thinking of, one would look at a greater profit to invest good money. So see, it's too early, hence to give any comment, but your thinking is absolutely in order. That's at the evaluation stage.
Sure. And on the ethanol export side and recent policy, if you could add your views, sir?
Ethanol export?
Yes.
No, there is no export of ethanol. There is some export of ENA or something, but ethanol gets consumed domestically by the OMCs.
I'm sorry, I meant of ENA only. So now that the government is allowing ENA exports, so is there an opportunity there for us?
No, see, we basically tender our entire quantity to the OMCs. This is minute one, so it helps us hedge our, operations on day one, and we do not remain open in the market for ENA export. And it's a very good building also. So if you see, our quantities of offtake have sort of revalidated the relationship model.
Okay. Just a final point before I get back in the queue. Brazil exports have seen a large jump. So if your view on international markets would really help us.
You are talking of sugar exports from Brazil?
That's right. I see the Brazil sugar exports have seen a large jump. Or maybe if I'm missing something, you could help us with your view on the international price.
You are right, sir. Brazil this year is expected to have a larger production of say around 36-37 million tons, and they have a policy of covering or hedging their production forward. So a large portion of that has already been done by them. India will continue to export whatever is required from India in various pockets of the globe. Large opportunities have come up in the recent past, particularly the Indonesian market. So we will find a very lucrative time and price for our value for our export also.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll get back in the queue.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dhananjay Mishra from Sunidhi Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello sir. Congrats on very good operating performance. Sir, when do you expect MSP to be revised?
Very soon, government work, one can't sort of put a clock to it, which is very accurate. But we are hoping very, very soon.
And what could be the quantum? Maybe 1.5 rupees?
As you've read in the papers, the talk is of 2 rupees MSP with some hike, 10 rupees hike in FRP.
Okay. And sir, what is our accounting cost for this molasses and bagasse for our segmental businesses?
Bagasse, we are continuing with our earlier policy at 1,400 rupees a ton, and molasses also at the same level. C heavy it is 3,500 rupees a ton, and B heavy 7,000 rupees a ton.
Sorry? Can you repeat?
7,000 rupees a ton.
7,000. Okay. And sir, we sold some this bagasses in market. So can we expect more selling in terms of volume going forward, or it will be at these levels?
It still has stock of bagasse of around 2 lakh tons as of 30th of June. So portion of that will get converted at an appropriate time.
So 30th June, Pramod has told you what would happen. If your question is based on next year's production, the attempt would be to maximize the selling externally.
Okay, because this quarter we have seen some jump in PBIT in our power business.
Yeah, so we are hoping to sell bagasse also. It's a market decision. It's all on market prices, etc. So even during lockdown time, the moment it got opened up, we sold bagasse.
So as of now, selling bagasse is more profitable or selling at 3 rupees is more power at 3 rupees is more profitable?
It all depends on the price of bagasse. At 1500, selling bagasse is better.
Okay. Okay, sir. That's all from my side. All the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sanjay Manyal from ICICI Direct. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Congratulations on a pretty strong set of numbers. One specific thing about the things which you have mentioned, that you're probably looking for some sort of value-added things or next level of capex. So is sugarcane juice to ethanol conversion plant is there something like that is in the plan, or if suppose if something like that really fructify, then what kind of capex could be there, or what are the operational parameters which you will have to really require to be done?
So ethanol from juice definitely is one of the considerations. It all has to be seen in a very balanced manner because we have 10 units and we've integrated the operations. So yes, that is one of the considerations, but not the only one. So there is a lot of work going on. I can't give you figures till we actually arrive at something.
But sir, in general, if suppose anybody wants to really go for a sugarcane juice, to what kind of capacity one has to create? Is it like a bigger capacity one has to create, or if there is a additional capex required?
If you go from juice, you need absolutely big capacity because juice is like loaded with sugar for the distillery. So it will be a big capacity required.
Right. And sir, from the global price perspective, what kind of a subsidy is required at these prices to sort of match the cost or match the current prices or the last realizable prices for exports?
13 to 13.5 to get to last year's prices. 13 is good. Sorry, probably the subsidy, one understands, might remain at the same level. So if you get 13.5 March contract, it is good price.
Okay, sir. Okay. That's it from my side, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anupam Goswami from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Congratulations on the good set of numbers. So my question on this, in this quarter, your sugar volume in domestic as well has been really high. But how come, how much this is sustainable throughout the whole year? Will it be at this level or will it taper down since production from the southern states will also ramp up? And in the next year also? Sir, I just wanted to know how the sugar volumes in the domestic is sustainable throughout the year. This year, this quarter, we saw a 50% jump in domestic volumes. So how that is sustainable?
You see, the sustainable part, as you know, is determined by government release. So one cannot give you any kind of guarantees, but all one can say is even release, government favors people who export and do be heavy.
Okay.
So the whole thought of the government is to encourage both these activities, and they do all kind of encouragements beyond even just the cash subsidies.
Okay. So the more B-heavy diversion is there, you get an additional release quota?
Kind of.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You're not wrong. Now, so much of detail, properly. Yes, but right, correct.
Okay. And sir, what is our distillery volume target this time?
FY21, we should be doing between 15 to 16 crores liter. And for ethanol year, which begins on 1st of December and ends in November, next season target is 17 to 18 crores.
Okay. Okay, so I'll join back in the queue. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Madhav Marda from Fidelity Investment. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir, good afternoon. So my question was the value-added products or the capex that we're talking about. It will be restricted to the sugar, ethanol sort of business model, right? Or are we looking to go into something which is different?
It obviously will. The raw material would be available with the company.
Okay.
So not going to absolutely unrelated stuff, but could be a little more value added than ethanol.
Okay, so it'll be like a forward integration.
Yes.
Ethanol,
Absolutely.
Something like okay.
Ethanol, sugar, anything. So we'll have to wait there, Let us do something more tangible before we revert. Okay. But it's going to be related stuff, and time has said that we are very cautious people.
Understood. And the growth capex in expanding a distillery capacity, is that something that is also being considered? That's also one of the options in the table?
Yes. With juice, etc. So there are many combinations one is playing with.
Yeah.
So let it play out.
Okay. And just lastly, on the free cash generation that we will be doing, like in your view, what could be the risk to our earnings or to our cash flows? I mean, MSPs are likely going to be hiked. FRP goes up, but by a lesser extent. So other than that, what could impact our earnings or cash flows? Like, what's the risk actually?
So if I'm saying that FRP goes up 10 rupees and MSP goes up 2 rupees, we are net gainers.
Exactly, yes.
Right? So our risk today is only government policy as I see it.
Yeah. But, I mean, the way I would think, sir, is given their comments or their actions in the very recent past, I don't see why it should turn adverse, right? I mean, they'll just go back 5 years if they do that, right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Sorry, come again, your last portion?
I'm just thinking that government taking a U-turn on some of their good policy changes that they've made in the recent past. If they do that, they're just going to open up the can of worms which we had 5 years back, right? So, I mean, it wouldn't make sense for them to do anything adverse in this space, right?
You very beautifully answered your own question. So since someone asks you what's the risk, you have to answer. Whether one sees that fructifying in my mind, the answer is no.
Understood.
And probably if you see the conduct of the government, there is zero risk in my mind. But, if you technically are asked, what do you do? So if we see why does government do this, so let's delve a little deeper into this. So government does this because it announces the cane price, and the cane farmer is the best sort of place in the farming sector. And the government being able to pay them the entire money is their mandate.
Yes.
So this entire program is engineered to pay the farmer. So if you see the export subsidy doesn't come to me, it gets credited to the farmer account.
Correct.
So this program has lent absolute stability to all concerned in the sector. One,
exactly.
Farmer mainly. Two, again, millers have done very well. Three, consumers have got sugar at very reasonable prices if you compare our prices with Europe internally. So all people concerned, bankers, every stakeholder is happy, and therefore in my mind as Vivek Saraogi personally, we see no risk.
Okay.
But that's a personal call with evidence which one has just presented.
Understood. And maybe this last question from my side in terms of, you'd earlier highlighted in terms of the, good cash that has been given back to shareholders over the years. Along with the capex program that we will be doing, will there also be some sort of a stable dividend program also that we would like to implement, or it would depend upon the capex intensity in any given year?
We always believe every stakeholder must participate in the prosperity of the company. So it will never, in my mind, and that's a board decision ultimately, is one in preference to the other. So everybody has to be after when you proceed ahead.
All right, sir. Great. Thank you so much for all the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Chirag Sureka from DSP Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Vivek here. Just a few questions on the balance sheet, which is in slide 21. Excellent management of inventories and debtors, you said how it has come down. But could you please explain the cane dues, in the sense that the cane dues amounts has increased double compared to last year, how that is going to play out? And then the second part is subsidies receivable from the government. Sir, you had mentioned about the government policies also. This time the big difference is the stretched finances of the government because of COVID. So how do you expect the subsidies receipt in a timely manner going forward, both for sugar as well as in terms of power business?
So we are happy to inform everyone that we've got about 85 crores of our 83 crores out of our 200 crores very recently from the government of UP. And on the subsidy part and the cane price outstanding, if you go a little deeper into that statement, you'll see that our obligation as a company for cane price payment is 100% done. So now we are just waiting to reimburse or sort of ease the way of government paying the farmer.
Okay, so I should see the 63 minus 33. 634 minus 331. Is that the way I should see it?
This figure are as of 30th of June. As we stand today, whatever is the cane dues, which is around 450 odd crores, we are entitled for similar amount of receivable from the government of UP as well as central government.
Absolutely.
The moment we receive that, it will be paid off.
And Pramod, just to tell them a little more detail, the central government subsidy doesn't come to us.
Yeah.
It goes straight to the account of the farmer.
Right.
That's the DBT protocol.
Okay, excellent, sir. And sorry, you had covered that point earlier. Again, in most of these companies, we look at the government finances, which has undergone a change. In ethanol, is there any risk in prices at all? I mean, I know there's a policy saying that we should get to 10% and slowly getting there. But the crude prices have fallen down so much, and I think there is a subsidy element in that as well.
Let me clarify this again. So if we see FRP go up and MSP go up, and past conduct of the government being believed upon, and which I do, you would see a rise in ethanol prices. So I think that step itself should clear up all the doubts which have been prevailing. There is no loss to the government. There is some tax, maybe they collect less. But then they pay out subsidy less also if ethanol gets diverted. And this is a very small portion of business in the overall protocol of things. And it's passed on to the consumer also. So the government doesn't pay anything from its pocket on the ethanol program.
Fair point, sir. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Manish Bhandari from Vallum Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, and sir, I must congratulate you where very few managements have got alignment of interest with this stakeholder as you have demonstrated by the buyback. So my two questions are regarding the new agriculture impetus given by this government. Does it speak about in any way about the changes in the cropping pattern where sugarcane remains one of the most profitable crops and that leads to the overproduction each year? So do you have any, can you guide us that is there any change in the government philosophy to make a shift from sugarcane to other crops?
Okay, so that's a good question. We had also kind of deliberated internally and seen the economics of UP. At present, cane remains the most lucrative. However, these policies will help us in direct interaction with the farmer more and more and be able to improve agri practices, hence, recovery, etc. That's the target and take home from the policy which we are doing. But safety of raw material is not a doubt.
Okay, so my next question is regarding the
the yield variety, which has resulted in the increase in the yield for our crops. So how far we can go? I understand that we are at 88%. The UP is 88%. Can we go to 100%? Or what would be your view? And my last question will be the arrears in the industry related to the sugarcane.
I'll answer the first part, Pramod answer the second. So we are hoping to get to the late 90s with the early variety. In this year itself, we would have very less of, until you need some general varieties in some areas which are waterlogged, etc. So in our company, we will be attempting to close the loop this year and take things ahead in a manner which can even lead to further growth for future in terms of better variety and recovery. Arrears.
As far as the arrears are concerned, the major portion of arrear is from UP, which are around 11,000, 12,000 crores. UP was one of the largest exporter of sugar in the year gone by. A large portion of export incentive is still receivable from the government of India. So if you take into account the subsidy portion, which will go directly into the farmer's account on account of export, on account of reimbursement of buffer subsidy claim, interest subvention from government of India on account of distillery projects, and power dues payment from state government, we are of the view that out of this 11 to 12,000 crores, maybe 7 to 8,000 crores will be paid off by October, and the remaining can be paid once the new season begins.
Thank you. Thanks for the insight.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Samir Raj from Nippon India Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Congratulations on good numbers and good payout. So I have three questions. One is this command area mechanism which we have currently. So with the government announcing a lot of reforms in agriculture, is there any likelihood of that changing? That's question number one. The second question is related to seed. So last time we saw bumper increase in production thanks to new varieties of seed. So is there any further progress happening in the seed thing which could lead to some further significant increase in productivity? That's question number two. And my third question is that with thanks to COVID, people becoming more conscious of what they are buying loose and what they are buying packaged. So is there any scope for us to expand significantly into branded sugar?
Okay. So, Samir, let me attempt to answer. Your first question was...
command area.
Command area. No, I don't see that being dismantled because from the government of UP side, this is a big safety to the farmer. That is, entire produce gets lifted. Right? Otherwise, you might have means if you don't put command area, they don't crush the cane and they shut down.
Okay.
So that's for safety of the farmer and responsibility towards the farmer. I don't think that will go. And you spoke on branded sugar. No, we are not very seriously dealing with that. There's volumes, etc. That we have experimented in the past and not succeeded. Seed and all, I don't think is a big worry. And already we have now India's picked up to a level where I don't see maybe some factories apart. I don't see a general big uptick in yields anymore.
Okay. Right. Yeah, great, sir. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Amber Taneja from Vachi India. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. I had two very targeted questions. The first is on slide 14. You have given the realization you got for the exports without the government assistance. And Q1FY21, you've written 25.03 and Q4FY20, 21.66. I found this to be remarkable given that the raw sugar price was exactly the opposite. If I pick up the 6 month chart of raw sugar, I see that it was roughly 14 cents in the first quarter and much lower in the second quarter. So my first question is, how did you manage this? And secondly, what is the differential in the shipping cost of sugar from India to Indonesia versus Brazil to Indonesia, since you have indicated that Indonesia is going to be a major market for export this year? Thanks a lot.
Yes, Pramod.
See, the 25 rupees realization which we have mentioned on slide 14, we were able to conclude the deal in the month of February itself when the raw sugar prices were ruling very high. And
But that touched 15 cents.
yeah, thereafter it touched 15 cents also. And if I remember correctly, the Government of India came out with the reallocation around 24th or 25th of February, and we concluded the deal on the same day. That was the reason that we were able to capture this high price. Just a point from our side, this 25 rupees is the FOB price. So after this, there is an expenditure of around 2.5 rupees per kg. So this is for the benefit of all the audience. We are sharing this. Now the freight differential between Indonesia and Brazil is a variable factor. It depends upon so many things, and it varies from one period of shipment to another. So it's very difficult to give any.
Okay. So if I just may have a follow-up. So what you are saying is that means the sugar prices that you get, they are somewhat in advance, right? So we should not exactly go by what the international price of sugar is, but as previously mentioned, if you're getting 13.5 cents for March of 21, which I think is the current price, then assuming the same subsidy of whatever 10,448, you should be fairly comfortable. Is that understanding correct?
Correct.
200% correct.
Yeah. And the current prices are very much workable, on which exports can really happen.
And with the rupee dollar where it is, it's absolutely workable.
Okay, that's it from my side. Thank you, and really great commitment to shareholders. I just wanted to congratulate once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Varun Goenka from Nippon Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Yes, just two clarifications, sir. One, our ethanol capacity will get fully utilized by next year, like we're indicating 17-18 crore liters. The next round of capex, if at all we consider, do we have land and to expand the same ethanol capacity? Will it be brownfield or will it be fully greenfield? And second, on the recent agri reforms, if you can have your view, also is there any effect on our company in any way?
So the land etc. won't be a problem, and as we said, we are exploring. Our factories itself have some land, and today with modernization the way it's gone, it doesn't take too much of land. So be rest assured there's not a problem. And the agri policy etc. See, they are mainly for people who sell in the mandis etc. So as far as we are concerned, you have a lot more ability to connect with the farmer etc. But nothing else from our side. Our business would continue as usual.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of V. Rangan from Billion Securities. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Congratulations for the excellent this one. And I would like to know what is the current stock available in quintals and what is the rate at which you have valued that, and what will be the current expansion this year, forward, and what will be the average rate of interest now that have fallen here again, what is the rate of interest for the loan? Now previously we were talking about the government giving all lots of, I think you are thoroughly satisfied with the present government in terms of policies in relation to the past experience of the previous government. Could you say some highlight? Because they are very proactive, I think, like that. Thanks.
We are holding stock of 5.5 lakh tons as of 30th of June, and which has been valued at 29 rupees 90 paisa per kg. In terms of interest cost, long-term funds we are enjoying between 4.5 to 4.75%. The interest subvention benefit given by the Government of India as well as the state government. Now, as of now, we don't have any requirement for our short-term working capital. Maybe by end of August or first week of September, we will be net working capital positive. Whatever working capital is outstanding as on date will be paid by that period of time. So we won't be borrowing anything maybe by by end of December or before 15th of January, we won't be valuing anything. Now the current CP market is around 3.5 to 4%. The moment we enter into commercial paper market, we are of the view that we should get fund at around 4%.
Current market conditions prevailing, Balrampur could get short-term borrowing at 4% for its working capital.
Current to the farmers, this one liability is almost everything you have been settling at the, better than all other mills, correct?
Yeah, as you've seen from our end, there is zero payment due.
Oh,
whatever comes from the government goes there, and yes, we are almost at the top of the chart, I guess.
Excellent, thanks. Current expansion, anything this year?
No, not. We are contemplating various projects, as I've said from the beginning.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Bhavin Chidda from Enam Holdings. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon to the team for the excellent results and outlook. Vivek, just on the next year tenders, how much the OMCs have already ordered to the industry, and how much Balrampur has got from these tenders?
Bhavin, next year's tenders will come out sometime in the month of September, October, September end, I believe. So that is when you put in the tender. Our targeted quantity, we've told you.
Okay. So the current tender, they run till December, they run till August?
No, November end.
Okay.
So whatever we bid for in the current tender, we are well ahead of our average supply per month. So we will complete our current tender in the given period.
Right. And regarding this bagasse which is sold in open market, so most of the sugar companies Korean power is to state reducing. So you see some resolution there, because still this is the cheapest form of power which states are procuring, and if everyone starts selling bagasse in the open market, at some day that price has to go up, right? So what's the sense there? And you also said that you are in talks or litigation regarding that cogen rate. So any developments there?
Well, that's a good point. We continue to engage, and we pointed out everything you have said itself, this being green power, etc. So not achieved any breakthrough yet, either on the dialogue side with the government or on the court side. Unfortunately, due to COVID, the hearings haven't happened. So that's still work in progress.
Right. And last one on the export subsidy. So next year also the target is around 6 million. So you talked about the possible FRP hike of 10 rupee and 2 on sugar MRP. So on export subsidy, when does that expire? And again, that needs to be reinstated for that volume, right? So where's the progress on that?
So absolutely right. The reinstatement there is the, what one feels will happen, because these are WTO compliant payments. So probably everything from the government side would get concluded, middle September, because the new season kicks in 1st October technically. So I think in the next 1 month odd, one should see all the policies come out.
So the industry is confident of same export duty reinstatement, right?
Yeah, export subsidy reinstatement, yes.
Okay, similar. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhavin.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nikhil Goyal from Shivans Capital. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My question is, sir, what is the minimum selling price the Balrampur Chini is selling in the market? Ex-mill price? What is the ex-mill price?
You want the current ex-mill price?
Yes, sir.
It is closer to 33. It's like 32, 70, 75, around that range.
Okay. And can you just tell me if the MSP will be increased to rupees 2, then this the ex-milk price will also be increased?
Yes, that is the meaning of MSP increase, minimum selling price of sugar. So,
No. I'm asking if the MSP is increased by 2 rupees, that is 33 rupees, then your ex-milk price will be also be increased?
no, I don't think. See, I always believe in the past giving you all the evidence for the future. So UP's price has been at a 1 rupee premium to the MSP in the past, 1 rupee plus. So if MSP goes from 31 to 33, sugar prices should pick up to 34 plus. That is the barometric assumption.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Udit Gupta, who's an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
So my question is, sir, what are we looking at the mix of B heavy and C heavy ethanol in FY21, sir?
We're going to go tilt the balance towards B heavy. It's still in planning stage, but probably 80% should be B heavy.
Okay. And so what is the processing cost of ethanol per liter, leaving the cost of molasses?
Approximately processing cost is 5 rupees.
5 rupees, sir. So, so this doesn't include the interest or the depreciation or the transportation?
Yes, let Pramod come back. The interest, etc., might be, and depreciation might be there, but it must be minimal. Pramod, processing cost on from leaving out raw material price of ethanol, 5 rupees?
5 to 5.5 rupees.
5 to 5.5. Right. And does that include interest depreciation?
It does not include interest, but it includes depreciation.
Okay. And does it include transport cost?
Yeah.
Including transport
cost of molasses.
Yeah, internal transport.
Internal transport.
Yeah. So it includes transport cost of molasses, it includes depreciation.
And so the transport cost of the ethanol to the OMCs, so that's separate?
No, that's ex-factory. No, you're selling ex-factory.
Okay. So that's not a cost to us?
No, that's not a cost to us.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. We'll take that as the last question. I would now like to hand the conference back to the management team for closing comments.
So thank you, everyone, and we will continue to interact in this manner. And now on to Pramod. So if you have any other queries, Pramod and me are always there. Over to Pramod.
Thank you, everyone, for taking out your time and participating in the conference call. We are always available for whatever queries or questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you once again, and keep safe.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Balrampur Chini Mills, that concludes the conference. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. You may now disconnect your lines.